Also for teachers' assistants, for somebody who's out of matric and wants to test corporate training, this would be an excellent NQF level 4 qualification or matric equivalent. Now go on. Then from here, once you've completed the NQF level 5 qualification that we have also registered for, called Occupational Certificate, Training and Development Practitioner. So this one is where you would now be a practitioner of education and training in the workplace. This 90% replaces the certificate in education and training, also on NQF level 5. From here, you can proceed now to the qualification we already received, and that is the Advanced Occupational Diploma in Learning and Development. So you will become a learning and development professional. This one replaces about 80% the diploma in education and training. And essentially, it teaches you to be a professional, to be a leader, to be a manager within the education and training space in a corporate environment, in an environment where you have a formal large organogram. So government bodies, state entities, state-owned enterprises, municipalities, you would also benefit from this course. And from here, we are also going to be registering the occupational advisor, and this is on NQF level 7. So this will lead you straight into possibly an honors program at the university, because this is a career path that spans 4 years. NQF level 4 for the trainer, NQF level 5 for the practitioner, NQF level 6 for the professional, and then NQF level 7 for the advisor. So this is a lovely career path that you can embark on here at Kanisela College as well. Then we also have a new, like I said, the new kid on the block. We've got the early childhood development, because there's a massive level 4 that we've introduced as well, for the 0 to 5 year space for youngsters, babies, children to be developed at this age, for childcare, for working parents. So we've added this to our stable as well. And we have a lovely program that we're embarking on, a project that we're embarking on, where we are looking for partners who can support us to make sure that we bring this one up to the level that the Department of Education and Social Development require for us to operate such facilitation, such training. From here, early childhood development practitioner can go on to do a BEd in primary school education, the foundational level. And from there, you can go on in the university space to do your full degree, to do your honors, and become a professional for foundational phase or 0 to 5 child development. Or you can go into corporate training from here as well, in the career practitioner, professional, and an advisor as well. The early childhood development lets you into that space as well. Also, on a lovely career path here at Kanisela College would be the new qualification that we had registered, and that is the Office Administrator in November last year, NQF level 5. So somebody who has a matric already would register for this program. And this allows you to learn all the components of office administration. It's not like the business administration that we currently have, and that's coming to an end at the end of June. This one is 540 credits. I'll speak about credit stacking in a minute, but it also takes a year. So this one, you cover things like marketing, HR, budgets, all kinds of things. It is possible to go into an NQF level 5 qualification for office supervisor, for a higher certificate in marketing or HR, for project management, for business administration, higher certificates and higher diplomas at the university as well. So there's very nice articulation with the QCTO programs. Give us a call and we'll evaluate your qualifications and advise you on the qualifications or the career path or the ambitions that you have. And we will craft a career path for you that would be suitable for where you want to be. I spoke about credit stacking earlier on, and this office administration is a fine example of that one. One asks yourself, how can you do 500 and something credits in 1 year? But the QCTO allows for credit stacking. In other words, you can do several credits at the same time through your knowledge modules. your practical modules, and your workplace modules. So when you add it all up, it comes to 544 credits, but essentially your notional hours are still in the range of 120 to 150 credits. Okay, but that's all we know about credit stacking at the moment. It is a new concept, and it's maybe not something I agree with entirely, because instead of credit stacking, we should be doing total notional hours, because all of those components exist in the CETA qualifications as well, just not the official workplace qualifications. That used to be our workplace assignment. Okay, so as you can see, we are just hard at work making this transition to the QCTO. We feel a lot more comfortable with the process now. We are also less anxious about the differences. There are differences, but they are manageable and they are quite realistic. And we will be here to guide you and make sure that everything happens in a realistic fashion. We feel comfortable with the knowledge that we currently have. The external verifiers, the CETAs, who are now the accrediting partners, the quality partners, and the QCTO are all comfortable that we also know what we are doing. So please feel free to come and see us if you have any queries with regards to your career path, your ambitions, your pathways with regards to your qualifications. So in this section now, I want to address the questions that you had at the last QCTO session in November, and for which I did not have answers. I still don't have answers for everything, but there are a few that I can address. For example, one of the questions was, what would happen if the learner has not completed their work experience within the required time? I think this would now fit in with credit stacking, because the workplace experience happens simultaneously with the knowledge questions or the knowledge modules as well as the practical modules. So the chances of somebody not finishing the work modules or the work experience are less risky now, because the QCTO requires the workplace to sign this memorandum of understanding so that workplaces can show that they are undertaking to ensure that people finish in time. If they don't, they will be instructed by the QCTO to do so. So we, even with our new qualifications, are obliged to find workplaces, even for unemployed learners, to make sure that they gain that necessary workplace experience. The second question that I will address is the query on whether the LG CETA has transitioned to the QCTO, and I can safely say that all CETAs are obliged and have transitioned to the QCTO, because they've been given the same deadlines of the end of June 2025 this year, including the LG CETA. So the legislation was passed in Parliament, so they are obliged by law to do so. So if there is no communication with some of your CETAs, perhaps it's good to find out from the QCTO then who they can speak to within that CETA to ensure that the accreditation transitions. The third question is, can I find out if learners can make a transition if they come from other colleges? That can only happen if those colleges have the same accreditation, and that is with the QCTO. So if the learner comes from a college where CETA accreditation has taken place, or they have a CETA qualification, then an RPL process has to take place, or a CAT transfer has to take place. That's a credit transfer. So you apply to the CETA for the QCTO to endorse those credits, so that the learner can transition to the new qualification. Thus, I'm assuming that it's going to take a while for us to be able to transition fully over to the QCTO. It's going to take a few years, because learners are coming with their CETA accreditations and CETA qualifications, because the QCTO accreditations are so brand new for some of our occupations. So the transition can be done, provided that particular college or training program or training provider did have the necessary accreditations with the CETA. The fourth question was to find out what is the RPL process for the QCTO, and I have to admit that I have not been able to find additional information. The Road to Success tells us, or gives us a brief outline, that we have to register as an RPL center before we can do RPL. So that's pretty much all that I know with regards to that. Perhaps in the next section I will address that one. Kanisela College has also made application to be an assessment center for all the qualifications that we've applied for. And what we have subsequently found out is that we need to apply to be an assessment center for each and every single one of the qualifications that we've applied for. So once you've been endorsed or accredited for that qualification, you still have to apply to be an assessment center for that qualification. All of our applications are pending with regards to the assessment center, as you can well imagine, but that we only require at the end of the qualification anyway. Once we've been endorsed as an assessment center for that particular qualification or for each of our qualifications, it is only then that the QCTO will share with us information with regards to the FISA, the final summative assessment, or the ISA, which is an exam that they set for the learner to ensure as a final summative assessment all the exit level outcomes that the learner has achieved. Only then will they share that information with us. I personally hope that they realize that that's a waste of time. You know, exams are something that we haven't done with outcomes-based education at corporate training companies for the last 25 years, and I'm not looking forward to us having to do that. Not because we don't want our learners to write exams, but because of the administration and logistics around that. Think of 300,000, if not millions of people having to write a matric exam with papers being delivered, collected, assessed, marks being sent. I cannot imagine that happening in real life with regards to corporate training for every single qualification. But that remains to be seen. We have applied to be an assessment center, and we will share the information with regards to how that works further down the line.